Another month and another new content drop for Star Wars Battlefront. DICE and EA padding the game full of new stuff, some of it for free, and keeping people engaged with the game. To recap, in January we got new daily challenges and community events as well as private matches. On top of this, new outfits for Han and Luke, as well as having the survival map Rebel Camp made available for multiplayer game modes. In February last month, we then had the Ice Caves multiplayer map added to the playable survival maps, as well as getting a new map set on Hutt called Twilight. Also, another outfit in the form of Leia, thanks to the community completing a mission, and we also had the Turning Point game mode from the Jakku DLC made available across all of the maps. Overall, some really good additions to the game and balance changes. Now though, we're in March and that means more new content. Also, everything I've just talked about there has been free, which is even better. The first actual DLC, called Outer Rim, is due sometime in March, although no date has been confirmed yet, and while that will require you to either purchase it or have the season pass, it's great that DICE are following the trend of Battlefield 4 and giving all players new content regularly, and a couple of days ago we got another free content drop in the March update. So what do we have here then? Well, two new maps. The first is a new Tatooine survival mission, which you'll recognise as the Rebel base from multiplayer. You can now go onto that map on your own or with friends and complete the survival game mode if that's your thing. There isn't too much to say about this though, because of course it's a map that we've already been pretty familiar with because we've played it in multiplayer, but it's nice to have the option to play it in survival mode. However, we all really love shiny new things, and that's where the Survivors of Endor map comes in. A brand new map set on Endor in the aftermath of the destruction of the second Death Star. If you remember in the film Return of the Jedi, they destroyed the shield generator on the planet and it explodes, apparently causing a massive fire and destruction across the planet. So let's take a look then. It's available on the bigger game modes, so Walker Assault, Supremacy and Turning Point. It also looks fantastic, something which I suppose we should be used to by now, because with this game all of the environments always look brilliant. It feels similar to the other Endor level in parts, with lots of cover via the trees and foliage, and the tree paths and Ewok huts offer cover and added vertical gameplay. If any of you guys ever watched the Ewok cartoon when you were young, then you'll feel right at home here. It also has different sections with open gameplay where the trees have been destroyed by a massive scale war on Endor. Fire and explosions of course, and they've ravaged the ground and it really shows. Everything is on fire. So with the ground in parts in flames and the visuals of the burning trees and the embers left on the ground, it just looks brilliant. The fire also hurts you if you stand in one of the larger flames, so be careful when walking over it. It does a great job of feeling like Endor while making it sufficiently different from the previous level, something which I thought would be reasonably tricky and hard to do, but so far with Twilight and now this map, I think they've done a good job of making each map feel new and different. In Walker Assault, I did notice a small problem when inside the AT-AT. The Ewok walkways and villages that go across the level can sometimes affect your camera and block your vision when you're going underneath them. Only really a problem if you like going in the AT-AT a lot. I also mentioned the new DLC earlier, that's called Outer Rim. That's due out sometime in March, and in an unlisted video on the EA Star Wars YouTube there are some hints as to new content which we can expect that hasn't been talked about or seen before. We know that parts of the DLC will take place in Jabba's palace and the other parts are going to be on Sullust, but in the trailer it highlights something called Hutt contracts, and we can see Jabba the Hutt there with kind of like a floating hologram of a gun. This seems to be along the lines of doing certain contracts that Jabba might give you, and in turn you'll be given a weapon perhaps or another item. It could also be possible that this is a season pass feature which will be added in the first DLC, but we don't know for sure. It could be free for all players. It could also mean that there'll be some extra weapons added to the game that we don't know about yet, and you have to maybe complete some of these contracts to obtain them. The weapon holograms there don't really look like the current weapons in the game or the two new ones already announced. And in my previous video on the two new heroes, I briefly talked about the new star cards being added into the next DLC. The stim card, scattergun and the Dioxis grenade, so it looks like when the first DLC drops we're going to have plenty of new toys to play with. I don't know about you, but I can't wait to run around Jabba's palace and tear it up. Hopefully the man himself is going to make an appearance. And that's all for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this little update video. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Are you still playing Battlefront? Are you looking forward to the new DLC, or have you already moved on? As always, thank you for watching, guys. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, a thumbs down if you didn't, and I'll see you in the next one.